Hi, my name is Marcus Garcia, and this is my presentation, Less People, More Problems, addressing employee turnover and the creation of job stress. The topic in question, as the title suggests, is the concern with employee turnover and its effect on worker stress and productivity. Employee turnover is the act of firing or laying off employees when it is involuntary for them, or when someone who is capable leaves the workforce, which is voluntary. Work task stress or job stress is stress associated with an organization or occupation. My question is there a relation between employee turnover and organizational change and worker stress? The job site in question is the University of California, Irvine Transportation and Distribution Services. The majority of the workforce here consists of part-time student workers, including myself, who are responsible for selling, distributing parking permits on campus, as well as providing transportation assistance for visitors during events. Part-time positions are only available to active undergraduate students. Graduates and individuals outside of UCI can only work full-time positions as supervisors or in other managerial positions. The problem that lies with this is that due to the fact that only graduates can work as attendants in the field as entry-level workers, upon graduation they must leave the workforce. This means that many workplace veterans leave each graduation year after they become seniors, depending on their class ranking. However, due to a new freshman class coming in every year, we also have potential new hires arriving as well, who are very green and very inexperienced, thus creating a cycle of continuous employee turnover and employee hiring. This leads to numerous problems there are numerous problems with this continuous change and turnover. For starters, productivity is lowered due to the fact that there are less people to handle the diverse and large amount of responsibilities in the department. Quantity-based hiring process and employee screening results in lesser quality of workers due to the fact that we are only hiring for numbers rather than people who fit the positions. Employee turnover unrelated to graduations, such as firings and quitting, is also more severe due to the fact that we need all the people we can get. The main issue with turnover in the changing workforce is the creation of many workplace stressors for remaining veterans. For starters, less people have to take on more responsibilities. This leads to overwhelming workloads and confusion about responsibilities. Previous social capital and workplace relationships also end, causing less support in stressful situations and reduced group cohesion day to day. Interactions with rude customers are more often and severe because of less experienced staff to help, thus creating stress due to more tense situations when there are more customers. Less veteran workers available to lead new hires also makes so that there are more pressure on them to move up, creating new responsibilities and pressure. Workplace stressor definitions. These definitions are definitions provided by our textbook, in the industrial psychology, and these pertain to my own workplace. The first of which is work overload stress, a common source of stress resulting when a job requires excessive speed, output, or concentration, such as my own responsibilities. Job ambiguity is also a source of stress resulting from a lack of clearly defined jobs and or work tasks, as is what happens when people have to adopt more than one responsibility. Interpersonal stress is stress arising from difficulties with others in the workplace, which is also an issue when you have to deal with difficult customers and having weaker relationships in the workplace. Organizational change is stress from changes in organizations, positions, and personnel. This stress is fundamentally a result of workplace transition and is the key stressor in our workplace. The study in question is a journal article called Causes of Stress Before, During, and After Change by Roy K. Smolin in New Zealand. This was conducted in a New Zealand public health organization which was undergoing restructural change, affecting many of its staff members. This study addressed the issues related to organizational change, which also included personnel from employee turnover and the production of stress in 3 different stages. The methods that they took were qualitative, semi-structured interviews with 31 staff members. These qualitative interviews from open-ended questions determined sources of stress and severity based on employee answers. This was conducted over 3 stages: before the change, during the change, and after the change. The findings of this study found that much of the stress encountered was found particularly in the transitional phase of this change. Many people were insecure about their job due to changing roles and the lack of info about their new job descriptions. Stressors cited during interviews mainly concerned stress from the coworkers around them, greater workload stress, and powerlessness. None of the respondents in the study stated that there was more stress before the change took place. Although there are not a whole lot of solutions due to the nature of the job itself as a part-time job for students, And additionally, with the large number of customers and visitors on campus, there are some work stressors that are unavoidable. However, in regards to maintaining workers in the face of employee turnover, there are 3 solutions that I have come up with. The first is better employee screening. By conducting the hiring process in a way that emphasizes quality and finding people who will not eventually burn out is critical. Careful screening of applications and resumes for questionable work histories and interviewing them on a qualitative basis will also weed out people who may not be a good match for the position. In addition, a multiple hurdle model of selection would also allow for continued screening in order to predict future performance and the associated task as training is being conducted. Another solution is to stimulate a positive work environment and group cohesion. This would alleviate work stress by creating a positive work environment between supervisors and workers and between coworkers. Thus, the creation of a workplace environment that will maximize worker interaction, decision-making, and communication in team-based settings will create a very cohesive group in the work office. Solution 3, by increasing job motivation and satisfaction through the maintenance of job hygienes and motivators for job enrichment in accordance with Frederick Hertzberg's 2-factor motivational theory, we could also increase the motivation and satisfaction of workers while in the workforce. In addition, flexible work schedules in order to create a comfortable space for workers would also increase job satisfaction. Giving workers constructive performance appraisals often will also reduce the amount of confusion and increase satisfaction with the job as they conduct it. And also allowing workers to give managerial performance appraisals would also allow them to have more control in regards to day-to-day operations. The goals of these solutions would ultimately be to maintain loyalty, create workplace satisfaction, and maximize performance. However, ultimately, it would be to provide methods of organizational stress alleviation in order to create a better workplace and alleviate the problems associated with employee turnover. That's my presentation. My name is Marcus Garcia. Thank you very much.